So I was coming back home from this late night concert, sitting in the band van, and usually after these loud shows I can't really listen to music because, you just want to have some quiet time after all that volume and action. But this was a long drive and I said, okay, let's put the headphones on and check out what's new and maybe find some new music. So I opened Spotify and I immediately saw there's a new Ibrahim Maalouf album out called Trumpets of Michel-Ange, and I knew what I'm going to listen to. I already talked about this guy before in my top 10 best trumpet players of all time video, so he's definitely one of my own personal favorites, and this album is amazing. Now, before we check it out, this could be a little different than what most of you guys are usually listening to. There are some different flavors here. It's called The Proposal. Now the trumpet sound is obviously sublime. There is so much character there, very charismatic. He's soft, melodic and commanding at the same time, and that's a real artistic achievement there, having so many layers in your art form. Of course, the flawless technique is something that we really admire here. It's wonderful trumpet playing. I think every trumpet enthusiast will really appreciate what's going on in this recording, because for sure some of you guys have never heard the trumpet being played this way, and that is so cool that we can still be surprised by the way our instrument can sound. And then for me there is the storytelling, the development through his music and the solos, the complexity, just enchanting and hypnotic. When I'm listening to music, that's what I'm looking for, the captivating journey and connection and experience, like maybe when you go to a bigger-than-life movie or a big live concert or a trip to the art gallery. A complete immersive experience. And that's something Maalouf gives you with this album, and a lot of the time with his music that's the case. So what you're hearing is a 4-valve trumpet that plays quarter tones. Ibrahim's father was the one that actually had the vision to build that 4-valve trumpet, and Ibrahim is playing on it, and this trumpet has this extra quarter tone valve that makes it possible to play all these Middle Eastern modes. These modes have quarter tone tuning in them. That's a bit different than what Western ears are used to, only using semitones, halftones in the Western scales and modes. So the 4-valve trumpet is an innovation. So it's not that the trumpet was not used in Turkish music, in Balkan music, in Arab music in the past. It was most definitely used. But now with the addition of the 4th valve, it puts it somewhere in between a zurna, which is kind of an oriental oboe, or a flute, a kawal, and that's not a completely new place for the trumpet, but it's something fresh for our ears. And definitely the way Ibrahim plays it is an innovation as far as connecting between Eastern and Western music together. So this is essentially a fusion between French and Lebanese music. It's a French-Lebanese album, mixing Middle Eastern and Western music together. So behind the Oriental melodies, you can hear the familiar sound of a Western rhythm section. There are no Arab, Balkan, or other ethnic percussion instruments there. The production feels like a live show setting, full of enthusiasm and energy, very vibrant. It's like they took the live tour band, recorded it in the studio, and overdubbed some claps and cheers and chants for some extra vibes and extra energy. And you hear all these call and response lines, these melodies, call and response melodies, where Ibrahim plays a line and the band answers. And this is very African music and Middle Eastern music based. Now, all those trumpets in the background, the trumpet fanfare that you hear in the background is played live by these 4 additional trumpet players this guy has inside his band. So he's touring with a 4 trumpet player section. And on the album, it's credited as if he's also playing the trumpet section, overdubbing together with his guys. So that's really big band era style right there, but it's also an Afro-Arab, Middle Eastern, unisono fanfara band sound that I personally really like. The unisonos are so powerful and piercing. It's wonderful. Now, check out this wonderful album cover photo of Ibrahim's grandfather's fanfare from his village in Lebanon, taken way back in 1925. How cool is that? Some of these guys are wearing this traditional Turkish Ottoman red fez hat that was still in fashion during those days. And Ibrahim's grandfather is in the top row, 3rd from the left. So when listening to this album, also make sure you check out the track Capitals. It's a high energy, high tempo track featuring Trombone Shorty. This is Maalouf's 18th album. It's amazing for such a relatively young musician. He became a really big star in France. He's touring arenas with 10,000 plus seats. He was nominated for a Grammy, and last year he was also featured in this Quincy Jones birthday concert in the Hollywood Bowl. He was covering She's Out of My Life with the orchestra. For me, this was one of the best trumpet albums of the year, maybe the best trumpet album of 2024, the best new trumpet album of 2024. I found myself listening to it again and again and again, and I felt it was infectious. I really felt the inspiration after a long time that I haven't listened to a trumpet album that really inspired me. I felt the connection to this specific one. This is definitely a guy you should know and keep your eyes and ears on. I will leave a link to the album in the video description so you guys can take a deep listen. So let me know what you think about this album and about this kind of trumpet playing. I would also very much appreciate your recommendations for some fresh new trumpet albums getting released out there so that maybe I can feature them in future videos on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share, and see you next time.